Hello, welcome to the Permission Mission Show. My name is Mary McElhatton. I'm your host today. We are broadcasting live here at the WWDBTV in Las Vegas, Nevada. Super excited about today's topic because it is a little bit different, and I will tell you that it's had my brain thinking a lot over the last couple of weeks. So today's topic is about vows. I recently had the experience at my daughter's wedding. I'll get to that in a minute, but I want to ask you this question. Do you remember your vows? I will tell you, I remember bits and pieces, but I'd actually have to go back and look at the video for me to know what vows I committed to 20 years ago with my husband. I know they were vows like, I'll cherish you and honor you and love you and be your best friend and, be your biggest cheerleader and help you through difficult times. I promise to pick up my clothes, or for me, it's make sure that I don't leave my dental floss on the counter because that drives my husband crazy. And I know that vows are really important because vows are what make our marriages legal after we've set them to one another. So, my personal experience, I've been so over the moon excited to share this. And I did get permission from my daughter and her brand new husband from this last weekend. So, first of all, let me just explain to you that we've been planning this wedding for quite some time. It was planned to be on the 18th, which was Friday the 18th here in Las Vegas, and the weather was not going to have it. It was an outside wedding. It was very, very windy, and there was just absolutely no way that we could pull off this wedding. So my daughter calls me the morning of the 18th. We're all excited, and she says to me, "Mom, there's no way we're having the wedding today." And I'm like, "What? There's no way that you can change a wedding. Do you understand? Like, there's a lot of people committed to coming to this day on the 18th." And she's like, "Mom, listen, I'm not having it today. Help me get things squared away so that we can have it tomorrow because the wind is supposed to die down." And I looked into her eyes, to my beautiful little girl who's now 33, and I saw the distress in her eyes. And I knew that I can either jump on board or I could make it more difficult, right? So instead, I jumped on board. We made the calls, and believe it or not, if anybody could pull something like this off, she was able to make it the next day. So she got married on the 19th, her and Jeff, and they exchanged some vows. And their topic and theme is what we're talking about here today, which is their theme to their wedding was "Till Death Do Us Part." When I first heard that several months ago, I kind of thought, okay, that's typical. Everybody's most times has that in their vows, "Till death do us part." And and then it caught my attention because, Permission Mission is about normalizing the conversation of mortality. So we are better prepared, so that we are better able to have these conversations ahead of time with the people we love the most. So when I saw "Till Death Do Us Part," it really caught my attention to, I wonder how many people really focus on that particular vow. Like I said, do you remember your vows? Because I don't. I remember bits and pieces of it. I remember my most recent vows that I made with my husband just 2 years ago on our 18th wedding anniversary, because it was getting to be that time in our marriage that I just felt like, it's time to kind of revisit these things. It's kind of that time to make sure that we're on the same page, or are we going to last another year because we were at each other's throats? And you know what? It was funny to see how different our vows had expanded over the years. It did. My most recent vow to my husband was, I promised to leave the dental floss in the garbage, because it drove him nuts. He didn't like it. So I made a vow to be consciously aware that I would throw my dental floss away. The other is I would have more patience with him when it came to him forgetting to leave the crumbs on the countertop, like every single day. And I vowed to be more patient and more understanding and to just ask him instead of yelling at him to wipe the counter down. So, when you think about vows, they are commitments. They are things that we stand behind because in the moment of sharing our life with somebody we love, we obviously want to set ourselves up to win. We want to get behind some commitments, and again, to make sure that we're going into set this marriage up to win, because it does provide a sense of security. It also provides a testament to our love and commitment to one another. It sets a tone for a marriage. Now, I am by no means a pro or a therapist or any person out there to claim that I know how marriages work and how they don't. I just know, being married myself and divorced, I know what not to do this time around. And the success of 20 years is showing that I'm doing pretty good. So it also, it's a contract, setting these vows are a contract to our commitment to the very end. So back to Brianna and Jeff, I do want to show you just a picture of their themed wedding, which is the Till Death Do Us Part. So this is their mirror that they had when you entered into the wedding, and it Till Death Do Us Part. Like, I'm going, whoa, okay, this is really interesting. They're taking just one vow and expanding upon it. Here's a picture of Brianna and Jeff as they are exchanging their vows with a really cool guy, Paul, who's been a family friend of ours for a long time. And yes, you'll see her in a dress, a black dress. So that was even very untraditional for her mother to see her as a bride in a black dress. It took my breath away when I opened my eyes and I saw her in a black, beautiful, beautiful bride in a black wedding dress. And I'm sure that a lot of people in the audience may have had the same reaction, and that's okay, because like, I'm trying to normalize the conversation of mortality, and I do get some pushback. It's not uncommon for somebody to open their eyes and see somebody in a black dress at a wedding to say, wow, this is a little different. But again, it goes back to the theme, till death do us part. And when we're thinking about that, geez, that's a little scary. Like, when I'm saying till death do us part to somebody I'm just entering into a marriage with, that makes me a little uncomfortable, a little bit more uncomfortable, and makes me think about, what am I committing to here? Who am I committing to for a lifetime of challenges and differences and opinions and frustrations? But when you go to the till death do us part, it just solidifies, like, I am going to grow old with this person. I was extremely proud of my daughter, who was the most resistant to this conversation of mortality and death. She's my oldest daughter. She didn't tell people where I worked. I worked for a mortuary. I help people pre-plan. I help people talk about the hardest conversation in the world while they can. And here she is on board saying, I'm not marrying just anybody. I'm marrying the man of my dreams, and I am committed till death do us part. Dang, that was an explosion to me of, this is real. This is honest. This is raw. This is the perfect way to go into a marriage and elaborate on, again, a vow that's so strong and powerful. It's different. It's the same thing that I'm wanting to do with the permission. It's different. It's not every day that you're going to wake up and go, yes, I want to talk about death. and I want to plan for it, and I want to prepare for it. I want to let my family know how much I love them while I'm alive. I want to take the extra moments of a day instead of working hard to be with the people I love. This is what permission is. Mission is giving you permission to do things the way you want to do them, and let other people do them the way they want to do them, and learn something from it. We live in a world that is difficult. It's different these days. It's not like we think about the end in mind. We just think about waking up every day and just kind of just seeing what's there for us for the day, instead of recognizing that some of us won't go home today. We just never think about that. But I'm here to tell you, please do. I'm here to tell you that somebody didn't go home this weekend, and we've got to figure out how to slow down a little bit and appreciate the moments that we do have, accept them if they're a little bit different than what other people see them as. I am so grateful that I jumped on board with my daughter to get on board with her changing her date. I would have never done that. I would have been like about every other person out there, and I would have just been like, no, we're just going to make this work, and we're going to be in the weather, and we're going to be catching our cups and our plates, and I would have done that. So dang it, I am super proud to acknowledge even my own growth over this past weekend and exploring something completely different, because it rocked. The wedding was a perfect day, 99% there. I think there was only one couple that wasn't able to make it. And when I asked a couple of the people that I was sitting with at the table, and I said, thank you for being so flexible. Thank you for being open to us changing it one day. And they looked at me and they said, are you kidding? We wouldn't miss this. It wasn't about the day or the time. It was about, we wanted to be here for Bree and Jeff. We wanted to experience this day with them. And I will forever be grateful for all of them who made this all happen over this past weekend. So my question again is, do you remember your vows? What did they say? What did you say? What did you commit to? If it was till death do us part was a part of your vows, I would say invite them into some new ones, because we know divorce is a big thing out there, and I'm not a big fan of it. And again, I've been divorced, and I think that if you're in a relationship that is unhealthy, it might be time to walk away from it. But if it's healthy enough to survive, maybe renewing some vows will add a little bit of a push back into getting regrouped and refreshed and starting anew with some new sets of vows. I love the fact that our new vows that Dan and I did 2 years ago were about differences. They were about like accepting that each of us are so different, and that it wasn't a matter. It wasn't going to matter at the end of the day when we had each other's back. And I think it's working. And I think we have to find what's working. But today I also want to remind you what's working is having the tough conversations with the people that you love. Ask them how you can love them today. Ask them to sit and help you talk about the tough discussion of death. What do you want, whether it's cremation or burial? What's most important for you to leave behind for them to do for you when you're physically not here and able to do it anymore? Maybe it's a tradition. Maybe it's just something that you took a stand for. For me, it's definitely going to be my family knows that they are going to continue on knowing that death is real, and that they can talk about it, and that they don't have to be afraid of it. And that when I pass or when they pass, It is a part of something we discussed long before it happened. We have permission. We have permission to live, and we have permission to die, and we have permission to think about all the things in between there that just help our lives a little bit better. Maybe not get as mad so fast. I'm guilty though. I have some work to do. I'm still working with this whole permission myself. I don't have it down. That's why I come back and I come back and I come back with more ways to open up tough discussions that matter. Vows matter. They're just a commitment and a testimonial of our lives and also of our passings. I work with a lot of couples who've been married, and congratulations to all those who've been married for many, many years. It's very cool to see and watch, and I always ask them the same question, like a lot of people do. What got you to 65 years? What got you to 69 years, which is the oldest couple that I've had the privilege of sitting with and helping them plan out their final days together? And I asked them, what got you here? And they say, well, Mary, here's the deal. It wasn't easy. But the first part of our 50 years was getting to know each other. And the second part was getting to like each other and hang out together and really enjoy each other. So it gets better. So there's some hope out there for those people who think that it's tough all the time. First 50 years getting to know each other, the last is getting to like each other. But there was one couple that said something very powerful to me. They said, Mary, well, I'm the right leg and she's the left leg. And as long as we keep walking together and working it out and going together, we will continue to make this marriage work. So there you go. There's a little bit of a nugget in there for you. But I do encourage you, if you want to rewrite some vows, take the time to rewrite them. I did them with my husband in our living room with a minister on a Zoom call because it was, again, during time of COVID, and it was priceless. I could not have gained so much from that day because here we are, Dan and I survived 2 years after, okay? So it does work. It does work. The show next week is going to be with a really neat woman that I recently met. And this month is the Day of the Dead, people being recognized for their passing and celebrating those lives who have passed. And Lindsay Wessner is going to be joining us for next week's show because she had a death experience. She's here to talk about it. And she was a young girl when this happened. And the line of work that she's gotten into is helping others also get through these tough losses, because she died and didn't want to come back, but it wasn't her turn, and she did come back. And the line of work that she does is very special work, and I can't wait for you all to hear about her story and also about what she's doing to impact the world to make sure that death is the inevitable, and also it is something like me, it's okay to talk about it. So I do want to end the show with this 5-second rule. Before I do that, though, again, go back to a vow, one of your vows, and remember just one of them, just one, and see how that impacts your week. I've been on this to death do us part, and I'll tell you, I'm thinking about it differently with my husband. I'm thinking about it differently in this life that I have, this one life that I have. And I encourage you to do the same thing and just share with me your stories at thepermissionmission.com. Share with me just one vow that you are going to write, or one that's in your vows, and explore that over the next week. I'd love to hear what becomes of it, because I too love hearing your stories. I'm sharing my stories, but I love hearing your stories. The other thing I wanted to share with you is something very special that my daughter did, and we do have a picture of her and I. So one of the things that she did at the wedding was when she was going to throw her bouquet of flowers, they set up the whole thing. All the girls were out on the dance floor. She had her bouquet of flowers, and she said, "Okay, everybody ready?" The DJ was saying, "Okay, get ready to throw the bouquet." And then she turned around and she said, "Actually, this bouquet of flowers is for my mom, who's put up with me, who's been by my side, who's been, there to support me through thick and thin. She deserves the bouquet of flowers today." And then we did a daughter dance and to a beautiful song she had picked out. So I wanted to just share that because I'm the proudest mother this week of a daughter who really has taken the permission and applied it in her life in such a way that she'd theme her wedding out till death do us part. And I'm just excited to see the life that they plan together and the life that they have together for the time that they have together. And I am the biggest fan of Bree and Jeff Manna, and I just want to congratulate them here on this show. Get that vow, just one, have fun with it, and let me know about it. Permissionmission.com. So I'm going to wrap it up with the 5-second rule. And the 5-second rule is favor inside. Favor that vow inside of you. Make sure that mine this week that I am committed to is that I am going to cherish. I am going to cherish. I said it in my first vow. I'm not always cherishing my husband because I'm always tasky. I'm not the more personal person. I'm more of the tasky person. So this week I'm going to cherish my husband more, enjoy his moment where he's at, ask him how his day went, cherish the conversation, even if it's a boring one that I don't really have any excitement for, but I'm going to cherish him this week. But favor inside. So take that and favor who you are. You are the most important person in this world. There's nobody like you. There's nobody who's going to do what you do. And also, I encourage you to get behind something you're passionate about and get it out into the world because we need you right now. We need more people to take lead, do something a little bit different. Like my daughter saying, "Nope, we're changing the day." And she did. And I tell you, it was awesome to watch. So you have that in you as well. And we all do. We have something inside of us that's just passionately wanting to get outside into the world and be shared. Value you, value everyone and everything. Value the roads that we drive on today. Value the time that you're going to take off work to be with your loved ones, your family, your wife, your husband. Value those vows that you made and appreciate them and have some fun with them. See where they take you, see where they regroup you. And I appreciate y'all listening to this video or this broadcasting live here today. Again, my name is Mary McElhatton. I'll see you next week.